What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Scaranoia. And today, it is just like every other episode, another banger. I am Hugz, and I am with Chris and Jared. And today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's going to be special. It's going to be exciting because it's us. But we are doing a XXL, a double XL episode. No, Crispy's not rapping. No, this is not a cipher. But we are getting a double
I had
XL.
it prepared and everything. I thought when you said double XL, I'm like
You
freshman.
know, that's
That's
right.
a moment for life
Um,
right there.
but we're gonna kind of just have a little bit of a chill sesh, and I want to do this a little bit differently. I don't necessarily want to have it structured like we normally do. Last week's episode got kind of scuffed, and just we it wasn't what I wanted it to be. I don't think any of us it was what any of us wanted. It was a cool topic though, Anunnaki, and I will jump into that today. What I'm kind of wanting to go over is we're just going to throw out some conspiracy theories and kind of give some rundowns, and then I just kind of want to see people's opinions on it. So our opinions, obviously, and then as well as yours. So we'll kind of toss up some ideas, some things we've been thinking about, we've been reading about. We'll kind of see if we buy into it, if we believe in it, and then leave it up to you. What do you think? So I do want to kick off the episode how we were handling our last episode, the hidden lost episode, which is with the Anunnaki or whatever Jared had called it at that point. But now he has no excuse because he listened to it for like 30 minutes already and learned about the Anunnaki.
Right. The Anunnaki.
Um, the cool thing about the Anunnaki, though, was the big question is: are they aliens? Are they gods? Or do they even exist? So Anunnaki, they came from some of the stories are a little bit different. Some they say it's like a planet Nibiru that comes around our solar system. It's like a hidden planet every 8,000 years or something. Some of the theories that went along with that are that they assisted us in building the pyramids, partially in that. A lot of it's like sub theories of like the general
Mm-hmm.
concept is they came in, they were like deities, they shaped us. One is they gave us advanced technology. Another is they're the reason that we were implanted in this planet. Another one is that they took us in like a more basic state and like modified us genetically, like we're corn or something, and made us like just really smart corn, like the smart pop stuff.
I feel it.
And well, like, because one of the ideas is that we would, they needed gold. So they came here to have us essentially harvest the gold for them. So they like modified us to make us more
Mm-hmm.
intelligent to be able to
Jokes on
use
them.
technology. So, but that was one of the other things. I'm trying to think of what all we went. Oh, and the Nephilim. So we talked about how they were like giants, and I asked if people believe in
Yeah.
giants. So now that we're doing like a larger episode, I want to bring that up as well, and we can kind of lean into that next. But they were like larger, smarter, technologically advanced. They were like these gods. They were the pharaohs. They were these leaders. And essentially, when they would mate with humans, they created these like demigods, these demigods that were the Nephilim type characters like we would have in the Bible. So these like giant, super powered humans.
Like
One of the
Maui.
things well, one of the things that I was saying that I absolutely believe in is just like dragons or some of these other cryptids we've talked about. If there's stories across all these different, time periods, places in the world that didn't have a lot of contact with each other, and these stories are all like the same type of story in different places, there's got to be something to it if it sounds like a duck. Do you guys believe in giants?
I mean, Oh, you want to go first, Jared?
Yeah, I do actually. Um, I mean, define giant. 'Cause if you look at me and look at
Andre.
some people, like, because I'm short, like I see everybody's a giant to me. But if you're talking about actual giants, maybe was dinosaurs actually people that were giants? You know what I mean? That's what I think. Dinosaurs built the pyramids.
Now,
Okay, I feel like
okay,
you're jumping
hold
ahead
on,
with the.
hold on, hold on. Now that is something that actually is a theory and could have actually been possible, not in the way that you're saying it, but like woolly mammoths didn't go extinct that long ago. like
True.
in the grand scheme of evolution, you know, or the human experience, like theoretically we could have had creatures that size, you know, that would have been able to do things, but it's not like a T-Rex was just like, here guys, here's a stone, throw this in there. Their
Yeah,
arms are too small. But I definitely, I don't know, like you gotta think like David and Goliath, like there's a lot of these stories, like I said, the
Andre the
Nephilim,
Giant, baby. All the proof
Andre
you
the
need.
Giant. We got to think we've even had people like historically been proven to be like what 8 feet tall or something. So it's
Mhm.
not like
Yao Ming is like was 7'7". He was a basketball player or something like that, 7'8".
so I'm saying just think like there could have been, you know, like previously on humanity, there could have been like a strain of us that was like 8 to 10 feet tall. Like who knows?
I
True,
mean,
true.
if they were mating with us and creating demigods, I 100% believe that it's quite possible that at some point we did have like larger than life giants in a sense, you know, because I mean, as we've had these people who have been 7 foot plus tall, you know, it's just kind of like obviously at some point that stopped happening. So, I mean, I feel like very likely, more likely than dragons, but I do believe dragons are a possibility.
I mean, okay. So again, we're looking at something. There's stories all across because you got to think like the traditional like Asian dragon. Like there's that one like image. It's more like a sky serpent, but then like
Hmm.
the traditional like European like knights fighting dragons. Like there's all these, and then in North America we have a lot more like birds, like large birds. But even those, some of those have, as we talked about in the cryptids, some of those have had like lizard or whatever, like reptilian designs to it. I love your little iPhone thing.
That
Um,
it all of a sudden hits.
but so I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh, like I don't know that it was like fire breathing, you know, like,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like a large, like a pterodactyl style, you know, creature.
Dude,
Maybe
birds
there
are
was
direct
like,
descendants of pterodactyls.
maybe there had just been like a holdout, you know, of pterodactyls that there
I
had to
see,
be a
Jared.
last one that went extinct.
Yes.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So like maybe it was just the last few existed and people didn't know what they were. So that's what I would lean into with that. Is
Yeah.
but if there's stories across the whole world, different areas,
But also, my dragon is like the Asian dragon. Whenever I think of dragons, I think of like the Asian dragons, like
like a
like you
snake.
said, like yeah, like
Flying through the sky,
kind of
fire
like
breathing.
Mulan from Mulan. That type of dragon. That's whenever I think of a
Dragon,
dragon.
not lizard.
Well, okay, so what I think, because yeah, I think of like Game of Thrones dragons are so
Yeah.
different looking than like the Asian. Like I want to say the
I
Asian
feel like
dragon's
that's,
like a
but that's
snake,
like different, like,
just
like,
artistic styles.
yeah, and like different, like mythology, if I'm correct. Like when you look at like the like Asian mythology when it comes to dragons, as opposed to like ancient
European.
medieval European ancient European mythology, like yeah, two night and day things, but some very real similarities in between.
Which is what makes me think there
Exactly. No,
has to be
100%.
something. Yeah.
Like if there's these two different, ideologies that are saying like this is what our dragon looked like, this is what our dragon looked like, and then somewhere in the middle there is, I believe that somewhere in the middle there was that one thing that it spawned off of.
Well, because you also got to think of like, what is it, South American? It's Quetzalcoatl or whatever, like the giant sky serpent deity. I forget which if it's like a Mayan god or I'd have to look it up,
Mm.
but it's Quetzalcoatl. There we go. Mesoamerican deity known as the feathered serpent was associated with the creation of the world, rain, agriculture, science, and more. So it was among the
And
Aztec culture. See? Google search. because I didn't know, and I didn't want to just sound like an idiot because I had no idea.
You're like, I'm just gonna throw, because then
Yeah.
you get somebody in the comment section who's like, "Excuse me."
How dare you? Plus, like I said, I kind of want this to be a little less formal, a little more. Jared's doing like ASMR, like the hand gesture ASMR. Just like a little more
He's
informal,
just
a little
like,
more chill. We just talk about different things. So I may be looking stuff up as we're going, especially if it's ones I don't know as much about,
yeah.
things like that.
For sure.
But
Hugs
so
is the knowledge of. He's the brain of the operation.
if by Googling, that's the brain,
Yeah,
then that's the
yeah.
digital brain.
The brain makes the
Um,
whole machine work. Okay, we're just the limbs.
so it's just a brain and arms. That's weird. That's like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, Jared's the body. Okay, I mean,
There you go. Because we a thick boy, just that thick. Krang did have a thick body. If you guys know who Krang is from whatever, all right, anyway.
I know, I've seen that show.
You've never seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I mean, I don't really watch stuff that's non-horror based, man. Hardly ever.
It's like a brain inside of a dude's body. That's kind of horror based. Okay, we're jumping to a different topic. Chris, Jared, which one of you wants to go with one of your theories?
Me.
All right, Jared, what do you got?
So, I had to ask you all this. What happened to the Malaysia flight? What happened to the Malaysia flight?
Was it 180 or something?
Yeah, I believe it was a Malaysia flight 180, which is kind of wild because Final Destination was flight 182, and it's
No,
just the
Malaysia
similarities.
Airlines Flight 370.
370.
There you go. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was an international passenger flight. Malaysia Airlines had disappeared from the radar on March 8th, 2014. So 10 years, a little more than 10 years ago.
and
Not a trace of it.
It resurfaced, supposedly. There was
I never heard it resurfaced.
They said they found like pieces of it or something, and then that was like speculated, but this was like way later. Like,
oh no! It was like
yeah.
at least like it's been years. It was years later that all of a sudden they started finding. That's why I say supposedly it resurfaced, but they didn't find bodies. They didn't find anything, any proof of people. All they found were supposed pieces. Like, I don't know,
So,
man.
This says several pieces of debris washed upon the shore of the Western Indian Ocean between 2015 and 2016.
I got a thumb
What?
bubble from scratching my armpit.
Yeah. So, in the final report in 2018 was inconclusive.
4 years later.
Yeah, but like, how does a plane just? And that's a big plane, right? I'm gonna assume. I don't think it's just a tiny plane. Like, does it say how many passengers there were supposed to be on board?
I think it said 200 and something, right? 227 passengers and 12 crew.
Like how does a plane don't just disappear? Like
what was
plane
it flying over? Is my question. Did it go near the Bermuda Triangle?
From Malaysia to Beijing. No.
Okay, because I was gonna say.
No, it did not.
I do want to get into that though.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're 100%.
For sure.
My armpit is sorry. But like, I don't like. I definitely feel like that something happened to that plane, right? And the government all of a sudden finds debris washed up on the shore from the flight, but yet nothing else. You're not like, what did they drag the entire area, search for miles, and like, because 200 something people.
It was the Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea.
Have y'all heard the final audio recording on the supposed? Yeah, there's like, you can hear almost like a digitalized like creatures in the background, and people think it was aliens.
Big gamble.
Big gamble. God, no.
Big gamble.
But yeah, dude, the final like audio clip that they heard on the plane it gives you chills. Like, it's scary. And my theory on this is one of two things. Number one, it was aliens. Aliens abducted the plane out of midair. Or number two, which kind of goes hand in hand, it just got sucked into a black void. And the people are
I was thinking more of that, like, definitely
like a
like
wormhole.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a wormhole. Like yeah,
The
that's
the other thing I would say is military, like something attacked it or military shot it down and then they just covered it up.
very possible. Very possible.
That
For
would
Like
be
sure.
the other thing that I would think of, like just to avoid like a
national, like worldwide outrage and shit. Yeah.
that
Damn,
would be my theory.
that's valid because I could see that. Like it, any which way, I think it's a government setup as far as finding debris all
Hiding
these
it.
years later, and just to kind of like put it to rest because throughout that time, everybody was still like talking about it online. Like, what happened? What happened? Like, YouTube went crazy with people posting conspiracy theories about it and stuff when it happened. All these videos popping up and shit. Like, so I think it was more of like they're like, we know what happened, but we're not going to tell you what happened, but we're going to give you closure to what happened by giving you debris that has nothing to
But
do
only
with
a
it.
little bit. And only a little bit.
Exactly. But nothing as far as the 200 plus passengers and crew. Give me
It's
some like
it's so wild because there's so many things like this, so you just think like how can things disappear, like because it's not just this. We did kind of briefly talk about the Bermuda Triangle, but I just I
It's
think
kind of
about
just
all the
wild.
different things that just disappear. Yeah, it's so creepy to think about because
It
I'm like,
really
like
is.
my socks the other day. I put them in a circle.
what? Okay, so here's my question though. Here's another thing. Okay, because this is like a common conspiracy theory thing: time travel. Have you ever heard about this? Like where they'll say like, well, there was like a ship. There was a whole thing where like the ship like supposedly went back in time and then like came back and but I'm like, could you just imagine you're just like Land of the Lost, like you're just driving or you're just flying somewhere and then like boom, you're in like
Mm-hmm.
1710.
That would like, could you? What would you do in that situation? Honestly, like, I just feel like
You're dead.
I mean, you're just screwed.
You're trying to figure it out, but like you
You get burned as a witch.
yeah, come there talking about these mobile cellular devices and Wi-Fi and all this other shit that they're like, what? Yeah, you're
Did
being
they turn into
sacrificed.
Little John?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, do you have T-Mobile or Verizon? What? No, like for cell service. Yeah.
We'll service yourselves all right. Cut you open.
Okay, so Malaysia Flight 370.
Government
Jared, what is
conspiracy.
your
Government
final?
cover up.
Is that what we're all going with? Government cover up?
I mean, I think the government knows about aliens, and I think it was alien abduction personally. But yeah, government covered up that there's an alien attack, and yeah,
I'm kind of going with the military shot it down, whether it be accidental, on purpose, testing out new equipment, and they disposed of everything and just left behind some scraps all these years later to shut people up.
I think that's the most like realistic.
Yeah, but I could definitely see the aliens or like some kind of time
I don't
paradox.
like
Like,
being realistic though. You know what I mean? I want it to be
No,
aliens,
for
man.
sure. No, I'm just saying like if I were to have to like be like, "Oh, here's something that's probable." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
For sure.
Um but then you would think like it's been 10 years. You think there would have been something.
I think people just stop talking about it once that something
Yeah,
else happens. People tend to move on.
but
Yeah,
like
but what about the
Snowden, like when
family?
Snowden released all that information, you'd think something like that would be in there. If it was like a military thing.
And what about the family
But
members?
here's the thing though, it was going from Malaysia to Beijing. That's a whole other world of government out there. I don't think our government, maybe, like, I don't know,
I
maybe
think our
yes, maybe no.
government has intelligence on everything going on everywhere. I feel
Yeah.
like that's just kind
Nah.
of like
Dude, Snowden is fucking that was that Jared, do you know about
Yeah,
Edward
but
Snowden?
I know somewhat.
What were you gonna say though? And then
release
I
like
wanna
all those documents. Yeah.
But what just the one thing that kind of just like messes me up about this is like I've looked. Hardly no family members have talked about it, like at all. I mean, it's just fucky. It's just messy, man. It's just absolutely messy.
That's
Jared, if you
crazy.
go missing, I won't stop talking about it. Okay. Make sure
We need to be
I'll make
careful. All
sure
this talk
every
about big
week.
gamble. We're gonna go to record next week, and all of a sudden Jared's like
Yeah.
not around. It's like, where'd he go? Oh,
Oh,
but
oh, oh! Crispy froze there when it did
did I?
when it said that. Yep.
Oh,
I was like, oh
oh
man,
shit! I'm sorry.
bro. Crispy's gonna be gone, and next week we're gonna have Jake Paul. He's
Oh,
gonna be talking about better bets or whatever.
oh my god!
Okay,
Prize
so
picks.
moving on from Malaysia Flight 370, but I am on that tip with you. Definitely very, very questionable. Definitely a very fucky, as you would say, scenario. Chris, what is the next one you want to throw up here?
For me, okay, so this one's more comedic. I could see why, but going from serious to comedy here, um, Taylor Swift is in partnership with the NFL to make them more popular. I read that today. I could fully 100% see it. It brought so many new
How
look.
is that a conspiracy? Even though I feel like that's just true. I feel like it's not even her. I feel like they just use her to their advantage.
I mean,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
stupid. Taylor
Well,
Swift is one
because
of the worst singers in the history of music. And Big Gamble, I swear to God, if you mess up that clip and I can't post it on TikTok, I'm coming for your throat, Big Gamble.
Okay, well, he can't post it now because you said that.
here's the
But
thing. Here's the thing. Okay, what is it? Kittle, isn't he with another celebrity?
is he?
I don't know. There's some person that posts all the time of his stuff, and then there's like a
Awesome.
No,
baseball
Josh
player that's
Allen's
with
with
another
Haley
celebrity.
Seinfeld.
There's a baseball player that's with like a celebrity too. It's like a big celebrity, and they post about it all the time. I'm trying to remember who it
Lizzie
was.
Dunn's with Patrick. Lizzie Dunn's with Paul Skeens.
It could be what it is, but like I see people post on social media all the time, and it's like a celebrity with a you know professional sports person. I feel like the leagues just lean into that stuff because
Oh,
if
for
I can
sure.
see that for sure because Taylor Swift is arguably, and Jared, I know you don't, you probably don't agree, but you have to look at the facts. Taylor Swift is arguably one of the biggest musicians of this
She's no
time.
Sabrina Carpenter. She's
I'm
no
not
Sabrina
look.
Carpenter.
She's no Sabrina
didn't
Carpenter,
she
but
get
she is
cheated
big.
on?
Who?
Wasn't there a big thing in the news that like Sabrina Carpenter got cheated on?
Yeah, bro. Barry, if you're watching this, how dare you? Sabrina, if you're watching this, call me.
Not that that's a conspiracy thing, but just as something I heard. Not I'm not
but
always
I'm
up on pop culture, and I was like, hey, I know a
but
few
I'm just
people
saying,
about this.
like, I don't know,
That was
like
in the news.
Taylor Swift is arguably the biggest like female musician out there. No, she's no Sabrina Carpenter, Jared. I agree with you. I prefer Sabrina Carpenter over Taylor Swift.
Crispy,
I'll put that out there. What?
I need to pause you, okay? Before you get us all hurt. We're worried about Big Gamble,
Oh
okay?
no.
But
Oh
let me
no.
apologize to
Thank you,
Beyonce.
Thank
Beyonce.
you,
Thank you,
Beyonce.
Yes.
I'm
Beyonce.
sorry. Oh my god. Oh, oh, yo.
Actually,
As
I
soon
don't
as you
thank you,
paused me, I
Beyonce.
knew exactly what it was.
I do too. I
Oh
do
my god. I just
Thank you,
got like
Beyonce.
goosebumps
Thank you,
now. Oh
Beyonce, for letting us live. All right.
yes, yes. Okay,
That is
okay.
another conspiracy theory. Evidently, if you do not thank Beyonce when you win something or get credit for something, that you could meet an untimely demise.
Oh,
So sorry, I just had to save you there, Crispy, real quick.
okay, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. You know what? Yes,
yeah,
thank you,
Jay Z.
Beyonce.
If you're watching me next, please take me out, man.
Hey, you already said thank
Well,
you, Beyonce.
the
You're safe.
newest news with Jay Z and Diddy that just came out. Maybe you don't want to be next. Didn't you hear like they had some?
Yo, did you see that he actually released a statement on that though, like
Yeah,
right away?
yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
was
gonna be.
like, he's like, they're just trying to like get money out of me. He's like, if it was real, it would be more of getting justice for the victims, not just holding me up for money. He's like, I'm definitely going to see them in court for like all, and I'm like, good on him for getting ahead of it, Like,
Is he getting ahead of it?
On the flip side of that, though, how come Drake out here filing lawsuits, but ain't none of them for defamation?
conspiracy theory, Drake really is a P3DO?
A PDF?
A PDF?
A
A
PDF,
PDF file?
But anyway, allegedly. Love Kendrick, though. GNX, fantastic album. If depending on when this comes out, hoping part 2 of GNX comes out between the 12th and the 14th.
Okay, look, to not interrupt you guys, but I do want to bring up something with the Kendrick and Drake shit. If you listen to Drake's response to Not Like Us, right? He said that his team fed that information over to Kendrick to see if he'd take the bait, and he did, and then he just went on to say, I'm not a pedophile, I'm not a pedophile, I'm not a pedophile. But like, do you really think that happened? Like, do you really think somebody fed false information to Kendrick's team?
I think someone fed information to Kendrick and let him know that it was false information because that person was SZA, and now they're on tour together. Just saying, throwing it out there. SZA got you wiped down, says Drake, so Drake trusts SZA.
And SZA's on tour with Kendrick right now? Yeah,
That's
you're
the big
right.
Tour, the Grand National Tour.
Yeah. They're gonna be in San Francisco this Thursday.
She's on 2 songs on GNX, right?
Yeah, I thought it was 1. Is it 2?
I will say this: Drake and Kendrick Lamar is no Kodak Black.
You're right, because Drake may not be. Kendrick is better.
No, he's not. They're both trash. JK, I love you, Kendrick Lamar, but rage bait.
He said, "What about Kendrick?"
Hold on. I gotta look up the track list because I know she's on Luther, and I'm like, isn't she on something?
Because I know she's on whatever the last track was. I couldn't remember the name, but
SZA. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. She's on Gloria and Luther.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Look,
so she's on 2.
I'm just saying that mustard scream, legendary.
Did you see Drake's trying to flip that though and do custard? Okay.
Do ketchup.
Moving off of all this stuff. Anyway.
All right, on to the next one. But yes, Taylor Swift. Definitely.
I'm so tired of seeing Taylor Swift on my screen every Sunday. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs with a passion. Travis Kelce's trash. Patrick Mahomes is trash. They'll never be as good as the New England Patriots.
I think you guys, specifically Jared, because it would anger him more, should be thankful to one Miss Taylor Swift. I think you should be sitting here so appreciative, kissing the ground she walks on, because the NFL had a problem. I feel like that one dude from TikTok is like, they got a problem. Because yeah.
Exactly what you're talking
NFL
about.
had a problem. She really raised the amount of new eyes and new fandom joining the NFL. And
yeah,
you
but
can't deny that because
they have
the
ball.
largest. Jared, 90% of the people you talk to that even watch don't know ball. Okay, so let's get past that. But also look at the Super Bowl numbers. That was the most watched Super Bowl in history, right? After some that had a downtrend. NFL definitely had downtrend in viewership in different areas, and then Taylor Swift coming in.
Yeah, and that's why the NFL is rigged, man. That was one of my things on here was sports scripting. The NFL is 100% rigged because they put the Chiefs in there to suck off Taylor Swift, to try to make Patrick Mahomes to be great when Patrick Mahomes is awful. He's overrated. He'll never be good as Tom, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared.
I've heard you specifically glaze Patrick Mahomes before, though.
Oh,
before this season, here's what I don't get. Chiefs have lost 1 game, but Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, has one of the worst stat records of the season, but yet they've only
No,
lost.
he's upgraded in the last couple weeks. He's played dummy defenses, but the rest keep on bailing him out. Like just tonight with the Chargers, just bailed him out.
So I know there's a bit again, huge sports guy. I know absolutely like 4 things about sports. Okay. But the one meme that I see all the time is like if somebody even like blows on the quarterback, it's like, oh, if it's Patrick Mahomes, like the ref will throw him out.
There's
Like,
so many flags.
he's on the
Anytime
FBI
Patrick
most
Mahomes
wanted
gets
list.
hit, anytime he gets hit, anytime he does an interception, refs.
What was the one that was like? It was not. I don't know if it was a week or 2 ago, but it was like the most like viral. It was like it was supposed to be one call, but they changed the call to
the
like
Raiders on Black Friday?
Yeah. What was the call again? It was.
Was that the one where it was offsides and the dude said it wasn't offsides or whatever?
Yeah, it was off. So the Raiders jumped offsides. So I can't remember. I didn't watch the game. All I know is that eventually it ended up in the Chiefs' favor. No, it was offsides on the Chiefs, right? That's what the original call was going to be. But then they called it an illegal forward shift on the Raiders because the Chiefs ended up sacking the quarterback and he fumbled and got the ball because the NFL is scripted. And honestly, just like it's terrible. Like, they don't like the Patriots.
I do somewhat believe this, even though I'm not a big football person. I do somewhat believe.
I think all sports are scripted, man. Like in some way, shape, or fortune. Like there's just so many. Like NASCAR. I'm a huge NASCAR guy. So there's tons of times that NASCAR has been scripted.
Just real quick before we get on, because I know you have like a whole thing for NASCAR too, right? You have a theory for NASCAR as well? Okay, so real quick, because I want to get on this U football, because you'll know who this is. There's a quarterback that like thanks God for like fumbles or some shit. Jameis Winston, like he's a quarterback.
Jameis Winston, dude. I love Jameis Winston,
he was
man.
Like, may God deliver me from pick sixes or something like that. It was the greatest quote I've ever heard. He was like praying to God to like stop him from getting pick sixes. And I was like, this is probably the greatest quarterback. Like that's just hilarious to me. But he was like, may God deliver me from pick sixes. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to say that before we got away from football because I thought that was hilarious that a quarterback like was saying that in a post media thing.
But no, there's sports are scripted. I think conspiracy theory out there. And I think all the sports are scripted. Not all the time, but there's definitely moments. You know what I mean?
Wrestling.
Like 100. Yeah, wrestling's real. People are fake. But NASCAR, especially, I think is one of the most scripted, especially the Daytona 500 pole position. Because in Jeff Gordon's final race, he hadn't got a pole in so long. He started on the pole. Danica Patrick's first ever Daytona 500. Danica Patrick, notoriously terrible NASCAR driver, like one of the worst drivers of all time. But they got a lot of publicity, First female driver in, I can't remember how many years at the time in 2013, but it was like so many years, I think it's like 50 years there hadn't been a female driver in the Cup Series. She gets put on the Daytona. She gets picked to be on the Daytona 500 pole. Like she qualified first, like 100% scripted. And then at the 1984 Daytona 500, Richard Petty's final ever race, going for his 200th win, Kelly Yarbrough dominated the entire day. Ronald Reagan was there, by the way, who was a big Richard Petty fan. Kelly Yarbrough comes down pit road with 1 to go, right? Which you ain't going to go down pit road with 1 to go. Richard Petty ended up passing him and winning the race. And because that was Ronald Reagan's favorite driver.
Ronald Reagan, notoriously the old version of Taylor Swift. Notoriously the first.
Jared, I heard this funny thing on like a NASCAR, like it was like a NASCAR Heat 5 like gameplay thing this dude uploads, and he was saying Kyle Busch is a new intimidator. He said that
he's talking about we're gonna lose. I love we're gonna lose, bro.
He was like, and somebody's like, no, he's not. What do you mean? It's unafraid to be Dale Earnhardt. And he's like, hey, He's like, Dale Earnhardt died once. Kyle Busch has never died.
So I have a conspiracy theory, and this is one that I truly do believe sometimes, not all the time, but I do believe it sometimes. I think sometimes you guys make up stories or names and stuff just to see if I'll just go with it, that like it actually happened, or like that they're real sports people. Like I hear you guys say like Saquon like Charles Barkley or something, and I'm
Saquon
like,
Barkley.
yeah, and I'm like, I know Charles Barkley, Saquon. I don't know
Yeah,
who that is.
Saquon Barkley's a real person.
Well, shit. We actually had an
Okembe
underground.
Mutombo or something. What was it?
I don't know that one.
It's like
I think that's a
Dikembe
basketball
Mutombo?
player.
about him. Something like that.
Yeah,
It's a
the
guy.
no,
There was a dude with the no. Yeah, because somebody
Yeah,
was like, "Oh,
Dikembe
you know, I'm from
Mutombo.
the." There you go. Whatever. But like, I feel
Rest
like
in
you
peace.
guys make up names because some names, like, they just, like they'll be like crazy sounding names to me, and I'll be like, I don't know. It could be.
You got us,
It might
Hugz.
not be.
We
Damn.
actually dug an underground tunnel in the View Count Discord server, which y'all should join, by the way.
An underground tunner.
Tunner. A good
Tunner.
underground tunner.
Underground tunnel, where we met up and was like, let's see what we can miss besides this week about.
Cause like, you could. There's sometimes you'll like say stuff about like a sports story, and I could just be like, yeah, okay, all right.
And then, by the way, if you
Football.
guys want to be a part of these sports talks with us, where you don't know if we're trolling or not, join the Discord. Watchviewcount.com/Discord.
That's right.
Yeah,
Shameless
we
plug.
have a lot of fun in there. We play Fortnite. We have a card ball in there. Come join the fun, guys.
Yeah. And also, maybe if people actually get around to it, we tried to launch View Count Sports. We tried to launch the sports podcast once. Eventually, that will be a thing. Maybe 2025. I have another conspiracy theory that is View Count related, and that is that Sean Pittman and I are the same person.
I can see it.
You know,
but
I
also
mean,
now,
okay, look. I'm gonna buy into that one because I watched your interview, Hugz, and while you were talking, Sean Pittman looked powered down. Like it was just like
he's a
that was all.
wind-up toy. Sean Pittman's a
Like
wind-up toy.
I think Hugz. Look, do you ever really see Huggs' hands unless he moves them up? No, I think he was down there pressing buttons and shit and queuing up the question. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Might
Yep.
be. Never know.
Fire.
Yeah.
You see, I would think that's a good theory until, looking at you and then looking at Shawnee P. Like, Shawnee P could eat you. Like, he looked like he ate you.
I have my profile picture in the Discord server of Sean Pittman, and Huggs' first question was, "Who are those two people hugging?"
Okay, my vision is not good. Even with glasses, my vision is not good. Okay, so these little profile pictures sometimes. Okay, we're moving on. Next conspiracy theory.
I do have a theory that goes along with being fat. Right?
Is this the Charles Cheddar?
No.
Okay.
No, this is talking about buffets. Buffets put stuff in the food to make you eat less.
The sprinkly stuff that makes you like, feel full. I've heard that. Me
and my buddy Taylor goes to Golden Corral a lot, and we're like, oh, we'll go in there, we're going to eat, $20, we're going to eat, we're going to gain 50 pounds. We go in there and get like 2 plates, and we're just like, oh, buffets 100% put stuff in the food to fill you up.
Look, I've never thought about that, right? But
that's like a common theory.
That takes me back to the last time I went to Reno, right? I went with family, and the night before, I got ridiculously drunk, right? And I was just like, I was empty by the next morning, and I'm starving. I'm like, I'm going to eat so much food, because same thing. It was like $25, really nice, all-you-can-eat buffet. And I grabbed like 2 plates right away. Bro, I ate a plate and a half, and I was full. And I'm like, how? There was not even like 2 meals here. Like it was 1 meal across 2 plates. What is that? Fuck, man. Okay. God damn, that just fucked my whole world up.
I was like, Crispy, apparently very angry he can't be extra fat.
Yeah, bro.
Crispy, like, this is a bullshit.
I want my rascal scooter, dog.
I mean, nobody's stopping you from riding the scooter. Just saying.
This is true.
Okay. So I have heard that though, and I fully believe that. I don't believe that necessarily happens everywhere, but I do believe that that is a thing.
It happens at Golden Corral for sure.
I do believe that that is a thing. Okay, but can you get into the next one that I had mentioned?
Oh yes, Chuck E. Cheese. Y'all ever been to Chuck E. Cheese? You
Yeah.
know the little mouse thing. It scares me, low key. I'm scared of
Dude, that
mice
thing
and
is
rats.
Chuck E. Cheese is 100% the inspiration behind Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, I was just about to say, I don't think it is. So here's the thing. Okay. There was a thing I went to that existed before Chuck E. Cheese called Showbiz Pizza. Okay. And Showbiz Pizza used to have the electronic characters that would play music. And it was like animatronic like characters. And I'm pretty sure that's what Five Nights at Freddy's is those
Chuck E.
animatronic
Cheese had that too?
characters. No, but I'm
I
saying
have
this
one of
was
those
like
called Billy
before
Bob
that. Yeah,
Pizza.
this was before Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay. It was
And
so.
anyway, so that used to creep me out because it was like literally like a bear, like playing
I
the
once
drums and
had
like something
somebody
like
in the Chuck E. Cheese costume try to break through chairs to chase me because I was flipping them off. Come to find out, it was my cousin in the costume. So
I
they
did
were.
one
But
time
anyway,
get to wear a mascot head and mascot gear for a college. Okay, go ahead.
have you ever seen a Chuck E. Cheese pizza when it comes out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Define when it comes out because.
So like when it gets to your table.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say because it's definitely gone through me before.
Have you ever noticed something off about it? About like
It's
how
very.
all the pieces look they're cut terribly,
Yeah, I
like
just
they're all
assume people are
uneven.
bad at their job.
Well, there's a theory that say you leave a piece of pizza on the table, you leave. They go ahead and put that in the refrigerator, warm it up, and they don't make any pizza fresh. It's just pieces from different people's pizzas put into a pizza. Like,
Hold
on table number 6 left 2 slices, but table number 7 left 3. Let's combine them together and let's make a full pizza and put it out to the next person.
Crispy's
I'm
like,
out.
why did I get a large pepperoni pineapple supreme sausage? Oh, there's another piece of pepperoni on
No,
this side.
I'm wanting to know who
Half an
in their
olive.
right mind is going to Chuck E. Cheese and paying those overpriced pizza prices because they are overpriced and leaving pizza behind. I am a fat person, bro. I have never once in my life, even no matter how full I am, left a slice of pizza at the restaurant. You can take them home. They used to give us to-go boxes. So who the hell is leaving pizza behind?
Okay, so sometimes if you do like the parties, they don't let you take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I'm talking about, when you do like the party like plan things, because
I'm
they
gonna
don't
fight
want you
somebody
to
because I
like
paid for that package. Pizza's
California
important.
man, California man assaults 16-year-old Chuck E. Cheese worker
For not letting him take home pizza.
over oddly
But
shapen
damn,
pizza slices.
damn, I don't know. I've never. Okay, look, I haven't had pizza at Chuck E. Cheese since I was a kid, so I don't really
Same. It's
remember
been years for
this.
me too.
I don't remember the slices like being like how they were cut. I just remember eating it. But
I
that's
I just
remember
heard this.
being good.
huh?
Yeah, I do too.
I
I
remember
remember.
liking Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Yeah, same. Like that was like a treat. I'd want to go to Chuck E. Cheese not even for the games, but for the pizza.
Question: did you guys have Discovery Zone where you're from?
Name sounds familiar, but
I was gonna.
Discovery Zone was like there was like a big place that had like pits and like you would crawl through like a big like giant obstacle course type thing, and like there was like ball pits and like foam pits and stuff like that.
it
Crawl
sounds
through the
familiar, man.
tubes. I was just curious.
Those
There's
are
a
always
chunk of
Discovery.
my.
out of town. Like you could find those in like Sacramento and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, same. It's always was like.
Like the
I mean,
bigger
That I
cities.
everything's
lived where
out of
people
town.
were. My bad. That I lived where a
Everything's
normal
out of
amount
town
of
in Fort
humans
Gay, West
were.
Virginia, though. Like we have a gas station and a Dollar General.
Jared's town is a drive-through, not drive-to.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever heard like the ghost stories from like Chuck E. Cheese where they say like the mascot's
Yes.
like haunted? Like there's not like an actual person in there, and like they went in and like the person called in sick, but like the mascot was still like walking around. Like I've heard a lot of like creepy
I have
pastas
two.
about Chuck E. Cheese. I think there's something just macabre, like kind of like horrific about the idea of like a mascot at a kids thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's just kind of like it could be creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could see that for sure. Like,
But I've definitely heard those. I want to do a whole episode on creepy pasta at some
I do
point
too. I do too, for
because
sure.
there's so many like there's so many good ones, and I'm like a huge fan of like Slenderman and like the different types of stories that have
Jeff the
become much
Killer.
bigger. Yeah, like there's a ton of good ones. Um and just some of them are actually still creep me out. That's the thing. I don't know. Have you
Yeah,
ever
like
read like I feel like Jared and I are much more into like internet horror culture than Crispy is.
I think so
I feel
too.
like Crispy is very like traditional like
I've gone down the rabbit holes in the past, but it's been a long time. The last rabbit hole I probably went down, I don't know. On TikTok, there's a lot of different ones you could travel down lately, and like the current one is the Nurse Hannah. Like I don't know if y'all have seen.
bro, that's messed up with the is that the one with the
Yeah,
kid?
yeah.
I see
They went to
half
hand him
my
ice cream, and he's just like they
yeah.
were gonna hit him, and I was like,
Half
as
my
a
feed is
parent,
like
my heart,
comedians like doing this to their kid to like prove that they won't
yeah.
like freak out.
But see, the
No,
fucked
it's
up
pretty
part
messed up.
is like my kid's 100%, my oldest especially, because I've always fucked with him and like I'll walk by and like punch him in the arm or like I'll fucking like pinch at him and stuff. So like when I put my hand near him, he's almost 13 and
But
he's
this
still
is like
like
a little kid
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
This
He's
was
like
like
a
a little
get the fuck up. You quit your
FBI.
fucking
We
phone.
got him. Um, no,
But yeah, that's like I
I've
always
seen
do
that
the
too.
TikTok deep dives of whatever drama's going on, but like it's been a while since I've done like the Reddit deep dives of like crazy conspiracy or
See, you say Reddit, but I grew up on like E-bombs world. Okay,
yes. Oh my god, I
See, I
remember
never heard of
E-Bombs
that one.
World.
so
Oh
like
my
I'm
god, you
old,
wanted
Jared.
anything
Okay.
creepy. The old forums and message boards and shit, like
Because I
Mine's
grew up
Reddit
on
though.
Newgrounds, and E-bombs, dude.
hmm
E-bombs. That's where like all the creepiest stuff was, at least.
yeah, you can play
I was
some really
never a big
crazy games on there
4chan,
too.
but
I remember Reddit. Do
uh,
you remember Reddit 50/50?
yes,
Oh,
where it
yes,
was like the
that's
link could be a good link or a bad link.
yeah. I've seen some as a kid. I've seen some really like
So
traumatizing stuff
that's why
on
you
there.
are the way you are. It all
That
makes so
was
much sense.
that
Oh my
gives you
god.
trust issues. Because also there'd be some where the 50-50 both were bad,
Yeah, and there'd be like some stuff on it was. I found
like
one
murder.
subreddit where it was literally snuff films, like literal, like real life snuff films.
Yep. Not even a little bit of exaggeration. Yes, 100%. Okay, but moving off of this topic, I don't even remember what we were initially. Oh, Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E.
We rabbit holed off
We
of this
started
quite
with
a bit.
Chuck E. Cheese and leftover pizza being served as fresh, but now also can I well never mind. It never mind. I forget back in the day it was different because I'm like, why would it be odd slices if they cut them all the same way? But back then they did. You know, Costco's got that little thing they put on that they're just like and shit like. But back in the day,
At Caesars, we just cut it like a traditional pizza.
you just which yeah.
Bro, okay. First off, before we jump off of this, Little Caesars underrated.
No,
Okay? I
no.
feel like I feel like a lot of
Jared, you
people
eat it every day, so it's
I like
different for
Little Caesars.
you.
Okay. These are the two criteria that I like for fast food pizza. If I'm getting like good pizza, I'm going to a mom and pop or I'm going to like
Yeah.
somewhere that's like a local place.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting like Domino's, Caesars, Pizza Hut, something like that, I want it fast and I want a bunch of meat. And if I get the extra most bestest in like 5 minutes, that's all I care about.
I have something to tell you about the extra asbestos. Actually,
Uh,
you're ready for me to ruin your perspective of time and everyone's. Brian or Crystal, Geneva, any of y'all's watching, I'm sorry, I'm letting out secrets. You know, you only get 8 extra pepperonis on an extra asbestos.
I don't care. That's 8 more than I would have got somewhere else.
And
No,
also,
I want double.
no, no, only 40 pepperonis total go on a pepperoni pizza, and then 8 extra for extra asbestos. And they charge you $2.50 more for a little more cheese and 8 pepperonis. It's not worth it. Just what you need to do is get extra cheese and extra pepperonis on a hot and ready, and you're going to get way more for your buck.
Bam! Look at that. I'm gonna clip that, and we're gonna like.
You're out here letting out Little Caesars tips and tricks.
Yep, that's
Yo,
all. This whole
Little
episode was
Caesars
just so
has
I could
those-
get you to give me some like Little Caesars tips.
Yo, Little Caesars got the little pepperoni puffs. Those are elite. I like those.
I'm just saying.
I don't like them, man. I mean,
Little
they're easy to
Caesars
make.
underrated.
I will say this: thin crust pepperoni pizza from Little Caesars, elite, absolutely elite. Sprinkle some parm on it, yes, sir. And by the way, thin crust pizza is the most. It is the freshest pizza that you can get at Little Caesars too. By the way.
Okay. So chemtrails. Chemtrails.
Yep. what an episode.
Well, just because like I was thinking about this the other day, and I knew we were going to talk about this. Okay, and I'm like, whenever chemtrails and Starlink, those are the two things when I look at the sky that make me question everything. Because I've never thought anything about like when jets or whatever go by and there's like little streaks in the sky, but people are like, that's like chemicals, and they're like, I don't know.
I always thought it
There's
was
like a bunch of
cool.
stuff they say.
You know, when I was a kid, I thought, oh, yeah, that's cool smoke. But I guess it causes cancer or something. I don't know.
Well, people say it's like, there's some that say it's like medication. Like they put it in the air to like control us, it's like mind control chemicals or something. And like, or there's so many different theories as to what it is. But like, I just want to believe it's just like, like vapor, like water vapor from the whatever.
Yeah,
from the
that's what I think it is. I don't believe in chemtrails.
But chemtrails has been such like a huge topic in conspiracy theory circles, like my whole life that I can.
Same. And don't they also say that the chemtrails also is causing global warming?
Yeah, that's another thing that is like artificial. And then they also mix that into HARP. Have you guys ever heard of like that? I forget what
I've not heard of that
stands for, but it's like where they control the weather. They have like these devices.
Oh yeah.
Like they shoot like beams up into the clouds, and they can like make it storm, or they can make a tornado, or they can like whatever. They can just create a hurricane somewhere. Like there's a bunch.
I think that's some of the. I don't believe in that. That one's one that I just don't see it, man. Like, I think that's just like very like.
So like I try to look at it two different ways. One way, do I think it's probable? No. Do I think it's possible? Yes. I think you could definitely manipulate the atmosphere.
For sure.
There's no reason. Like just like evaporation can create cloud bursts, you know what I mean? Like the more water that's evaporated, you could force more moisture into the atmosphere. You get what I'm saying? Now, as far as like creating a like hurricane, I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? Like I'm also, not learned enough to know how that would even be a thing.
Yeah, I just don't see it being possible. Honestly, like, I don't know, man. I think that was just like, I love conspiracy theories. I love believing conspiracy theories, but that's kind of just too far out there for me. You know what I mean? That one's just a little too far out there.
I'm saying chemtrails is a no. The weather protocol stuff, I think it's a 50-50. Is it probable? Probably not. Is it possible? Probably. They could probably do something. I don't know what they could do, but
typhoons just.
The only typhoon I think that's just coming out of nowhere was in WWF in like the late 80s.
Hell yeah.
That earthquake I didn't mess with. Okay.
I've got a pop culture conspiracy theory for you.
Okay.
This is a very niche market. Not everybody has seen this show, but it's. I did a whole review on my TikTok. Rhythm and Flow. Are either of y'all familiar?
I
No.
know what's his name. Unless it's something I'm thinking of the
Rhythm and
movie.
Flow was the rap competition,
Hustle and
right?
Flow is what I'm thinking. Hustle.
Yeah, you're thinking Hustle and Flow. So Rhythm and Flow is a rap competition that was started back in like 2019, and it was like Ti, Cardi B, Chance the Rapper. They selected these people from all over to compete, and they went through different stages, right? They went through like when they performed a song first, then they went through ciphers, then they did battles, then they created from scratch a song with like a famous producer, then they did music, all these different things, right? Twice in 2 years, and this is something that I didn't even think of until it was pointed out to me by Dior, one of our good buddies. Um, Twice in 2 years, the really dope white rapper gets shafted. Like,
Can you flip your hat? Can you flip your hat for me? Like how you had it earlier? Because Chris was hanging out here before we were recording and he
let's
had
have
his
my hat
hat
like
on
that.
differently. And I was like, wow, you look like you're on an episode of The Next White Rapper.
That's
Whatever it
what
is.
sparked it. But anyways, yeah, I believe that the Netflix team does not want to see white rappers succeed. Honestly, there's not really many
I
good ones
believe it.
anyway. There's not many good ones in general, but
Not really. Not really. Like
Ego Trips,
Eminem's
the White
trash.
Rapper show. It was MC Search. I think it was on like VH1, but that's what that made me think of.
oh
When I
my
say The
god, I
Next
feel
White
like I know
Rappers,
exactly
Ego
what you're
Trips, the
talking
White
about.
Rapper show. Yep.
I know exactly. I remember that. Holy fuck.
Yep.
See like reruns of it and shit. But
Yep.
yeah, that was something Dior put in my head the other night, and I'm just like, fuck, I didn't even think about it because he was like, yeah, because you notice they put this guy through who was
Hold
completely
on. Are you
ass.
saying reality television is rigged?
Yeah.
Man, you're telling me Ronnie and Sammy wasn't really dating? Wasn't really fighting all that time? Come on, man.
I fucking love the Jersey Shore, bro.
I was gonna say
Say,
Especially
Jersey
the first
Shore,
two
American
seasons
Idol,
when they did not care
all
about the
that
fighting,
stuff.
bro. They would throw down like at everything.
Okay.
go ahead.
Denver Airport. Is there a portal to hell?
No, it is the pinpoint place for the Illuminati, in my opinion.
I
I
think
know
it's just
nothing.
cool to go down the rabbit hole. Like Denver Airport, like is a whole meme. I didn't even understand. Like there's all these like they say there's all this satanic imagery. They say there's all these like statues and like different artwork that like means all this stuff. There's a portal to hell there, like all this crazy stuff. The people say there's like aliens in there, like any it's like if you go down this rabbit hole, okay, it's like all conspiracy theories.
It
There's
really is.
Illuminati
There's so
conspiracy
many.
theories, there's like hell conspiracy theories, there's like alien conspiracy, like they all converge in this
There's
one
underground
like
tunnels,
airport. Yeah,
apparently. But there's
they
so
built a
many on that.
tunner. They built
A
a tunner
tunnel.
down there.
But no, I think it's a pinpoint for the Illuminati, man. I just feel there has to be something there. There's just way too many conspiracies for there not to be something there. Well, now I don't think there is. Because once all that stuff now they switch it somewhere else. But there was definitely something there at some point. It was a pinpoint for the Illuminati. It's the Illuminati headquarters, and maybe a portal to hell because I think if
I want to
there
go check it
is,
out.
I think South
if
Park did an episode on this too, didn't they?
they
I
did,
want to
they
say
did,
South
yeah.
Park did an episode on this.
And if there is like an afterlife, I do think the Illuminati works with the devil. If like say there's an afterlife, the devil is definitely like the head honcho of the Illuminati. All these famous people sell their souls for fame.
Does that mean that Sabrina Carpenter is in the Illuminati?
She's a lizard person, but God, is she a good lizard person?
Speaking of Kanye, okay, everybody said Kanye was a lizard
The
person.
not so bad guy.
I'm just gonna
according to
say, love you, Kanye. Elvis Presley, Juice World, Tupac, There's many, many more where we go down this. Notorious B.I.G., all these celebrities, rappers that have passed away, or musicians that have passed away. Prince is another one people say didn't actually die.
Michael
Do you
Jackson.
think Michael Jackson's the one people say are still alive? Do you think any of these celebrities at all, or all of the above, are still alive?
See, that's tough because, like, in the
Tupac makes
modern,
the most sense to me.
yes, yes, I believe Tupac. I believe Tupac because with all the heat surrounding him, they had to get him out of there. So I think he's just in witness protection somewhere while simultaneously living off of the fucking album sales because the moment he died, fucking album sales went through the roof. No disrespect to Tupac. He was like the voice of like the 90s generation, but he wasn't
He was
gonna
the voice of the culture.
yeah, but like he doesn't have to ever like he I don't think he would be doing as well if he would have still been around and still making music. Times change and everything, but I think just going out at the time he did, he's still making money enough to live off of wherever they're hiding him, but I do believe they're hiding him because they know that Suge Knight was coming for him.
Or did he?
I don't know, okay, because Tupac wanted to branch off and do his own thing, and like
No, but I'm
how
saying
Suge
they're
is.
saying it was Diddy. They're saying it was Diddy did it
I don't think Diddy's that clever, that crafty.
because Tupac and Big were gonna make a label together. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but I feel like Diddy would have tried to get his hands in it as to where Suge Knight would have done everything in his power to tear it down. You know what I mean?
Feel that? I
So
just
Now
think.
with
Go ahead.
you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I just think if any of these celebrities, like you see all the Elvis Presley sightings, you see all that, like Juice World talked about dying by the time he's 21, not making it, being the 21 club and all that stuff. So a lot of people think that it was just like a part of his story. It's artistic. But Tupac's the one, like he did the Machiavelli stuff. It just
yep.
makes sense with his whole character and who he was. I think he would have outed himself by now though. Like I think, you know what I mean? I want to believe it, but
I mean, I remember being younger and before Photoshop was as big as it is now and AI and stuff. When I was a kid, you pop open MySpace and you see these random Tupac sightings in like the Caribbean and stuff. And Hugs,
I
we
hate to
missed our
break it to you,
opportunity.
Photoshop existed in the time of MySpace. I'm sorry.
I know, but it wasn't as
It's
popular.
it's been around a lot longer than people think it is. Okay. What up, Jake?
Now with I think all these people that's supposed to be alive after they're dead, I don't think any of them's true besides one person. And if you have seen Dave, that's 100% Michael Jackson. Look him up, Hugs, right now. Look up Michael Jackson, Dave. Yeah, that's not Michael Jackson. Sounds like him, looks like him.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he talked.
You
He was supposed to be his friend. He came out of nowhere.
Can you share it, Hugs, like you did with the?
No.
No.
Is he like a burn victim? What is this? And it
He
says
came
they
out of
died
nowhere.
in 2018.
Oh, he died. I did not know that.
Yeah, no,
But,
this is
like-
weird. I think they are a burn victim survivor.
But tell me it don't look like Michael Jackson.
Pretend to be Dave. Yeah, no, it's true.
Looks like
Interesting.
uncanny.
I've actually seen this before. I think I've seen TikToks about this. But yeah, Google it at your own
Yeah, for sure. It's
whatever
definitely
discretion. Although I feel like most
But
of
kinda
what we
just-
talk about in these Google at your own discretion.
facts.
Okay.
And to keep on like the pop culture thing, just because this kind of just like, is it true? Have you ever heard about Walt Disney supposedly freezing his head, and then Disney decided to make a movie called Frozen? I believe that one. I do. I believe it.
I think he's frozen. I think because the cryogenics is a thing.
I don't think he froze his head though, because maybe his whole body. Is that? I can see that maybe.
I don't know how that works, but I definitely think that cryogenics makes sense, and someone could be frozen. I don't know.
That's an
But the
interesting
Walt
thing because they've
Disney
talked about that as far back, like, in movies and TV and shit. Like, look at like Austin
Futurama.
Powers, Futurama. Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
whole meme of it in Futurama is because of Walt Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Okay. I 100% believe in a version of that. I don't know if that is like it's his head. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I mean, I can see full body, 100%. He had that fuck you money back then. So, but he was also like a piece of shit person. So if he's frozen, keep him frozen. Yeah.
Do you have more to add to that, Jared, or you want me to go to the next one?
Go ahead to the next one. I figured, just rapid fire a couple of them that's on my list still.
Do you believe in time travel?
Yes, 100%. It has the way we are so technology advanced. There is no way in hell that there has not been at least
I
some type of time travel.
Do you believe it goes both ways?
that's where I was going to chime in. I do not believe you can travel back. I believe that we've developed traveling forward in time, but I feel like if you're able to travel back in time, then things could be changed, and I don't know.
That's where Mandela effects
Well,
happen.
well, time travel forward is proven.
I didn't know that.
Well, we literally experience time travel forward. That's our existence is time traveling forward. Every second, it's just 1 second
Oh
by
my
1 second.
god!
We literally
Shut the
experience
fuck up.
time as
You-
it moves forward. We experience it.
I shut up. That's not the fuck.
We do travel through time at the rate of 1 second per second. So Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about this. Did you know that at the speed of light that there is no experience of time? Time stops. Like time, Einstein said time slows the faster that you accelerate, correct? So at the speed of light, there is no passing of time. So if you could move at the speed of light from this moment 1,000 years and then move back to regular speed, you would be as you were 1,000 years ago. You wouldn't have experienced that time. So a photon from the sun, it takes like 8.5 minutes to get to us from the sun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It does not experience any time until it is absorbed into us. So literally its existence to when it's absorbed into us is not, there is no time that is experienced by the photon.
So it's 100% time travel then. Like it has
But
to
then my
happen.
question is, how would we do that backwards? I don't know that we could.
The way they used to talk about it in like movies and TV and shit is like reversing the Earth's rotation or
Run
something.
the other way around the planet, make it spin
I'm like,
backwards.
I don't know how accurate that one is, but
I think it's more like portals is what time travel is,
Okay.
I think it's more like, opening portals into like different, almost like dimensions, what I mean? And that's how we get to go back into, like, say, I wanted to go back to the 70s. I'd had to open a portal into another dimension to be able to travel back to the 70s.
So it'd be like Interstellar kind of.
Yeah, that's my perspective of like time travel.
Okay. I definitely think it. I mean, it just makes complete sense that it exists at least forward. It has to. Now, our capability to do it, that would be a different story in itself. But like, just
yeah.
I think it's not a question; it's a fact of whether it's possible. But
Yeah.
how to harness that and actually be able to do it—that's a whole other question.
Could you imagine if we all just had like access to be able to time travel?
Where would you
feel
go?
like we
What
just
is the
messed
first
stuff
thing you
up.
would do?
The first thing I would do.
Okay, here because I don't want to do a first thing. You can only do it once in your lifetime. because I think that makes it more you have to pinpoint a specific thing you're going to go
Oh,
see or do, because you only get to do it once.
That just made it so much more deeper.
it does.
Like, can you
There's so
revisit
many
yourself?
things.
Depends. I mean, most time travel rules say that you can't.
You don't want to.
Yeah, because then it would put a ripple in time, and then, you know.
So you would just be going back to experience something then.
Sure, an event.
I would go back. Can I mess with something?
Define mess
Like,
with.
can I take out David Tyrell and his helmet in the 2007 Super Bowl?
I don't get that reference, but sure, why not?
Elaborate. I need to know what this is because why do
It's
you
a
want to take him?
Patriots thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the Giants beat us because they grabbed their helmet. But without like sports, I think going to see like Scream in theaters for like 1996 opening night would be really cool. Or going to see Jaws or Jurassic Park, something like that. But like I can't just pinpoint this like a moment. I mean, I got one, but I can't say it because like it's kind of fucked up. But you know, George Bush knows.
I'm time traveling.
Is that what you're talking about? Like,
What?
I said go watch 9/11. What do you mean? Bush knows.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, I'd go back and I just think that would be a spectacle, you know? Like, not in a spectacle in a good way. Like, it's just such a historical, like, powerful moment in time.
That also is just because you're so young. Like, we experienced that. Like, we didn't live in New York, but we experienced that happen.
I mean, I was only 2 years old.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
It was
Look,
September. Yeah, I was only
I
2
was
years
in
old.
high school when that
I
happened.
was in elementary school, man.
Yeah. It was my freshman year of high school.
Woodstock, 1999 is what I go back to.
I'm going back. I'm going back.
Fire?
I'm going to Corpus Christi, Texas, March 31st, 1995, and calling in a bomb threat to the Days Inn.
Is that for Selena?
Yeah. If we're picking a media moment, bro, I'm saving her life without directly saving her life.
Or I would go back on February 2nd, 1992, and go to Chico, California.
One back, buddy. One back.
91.
91.
I'd like to go see Chrissy be born.
Never mind. Okay, so anyway, moving on from this, I would not go back in time.
Really? You wouldn't want to experience anything, or
no?
You don't want to go see the Bears win the Super Bowl? I don't know if the Bears ever won a Super Bowl.
They won right before I was born.
What, you don't want to go see that?
No, not really. Don't care. I'm not a sports person. Also, just because you can go back in time doesn't mean you have unlimited funds to go do whatever you want to do. Yeah, let me go back in time and afford the Super Bowl I can't afford to go see now if I wanted to.
I would just put myself on the field.
I'm pretty sure with your job back then you could afford the ticket.
Anyway, moving on. So I probably wouldn't go back. I don't know. There's nothing that, I feel like going forward in time would be much cooler to me than going back in time.
I think so too, honestly.
I feel like going forward in time, like a lot of what I think about is like, man, what is the world going to be like in 50 years? What is the world going to be like in 100 years? What's AI going to be like? What is technology going to be like?
It's going to take over the world.
See, but I feel like at that
point, what are we going to learn that we didn't? Think about 100 years ago from right now, brother. Think about 1924 was 100 years ago. 1924. Think about what the world was like.
Yeah, but I feel like that would just give me anxiety. Like,
when were your grandparents born, Crispy?
I have no fucking clue. Probably
my grandma was born in 42.
I think around like 20 something, like 1920 or 1930 something.
Do you get what
Cause
I'm saying though? Like,
yeah,
think about
damn,
how much has changed in just a few generations.
Crazy, man. Technology being the biggest, like, could you imagine just, oh,
but
dude, like,
and that's
kind of,
and that's crazy coming from like mine or Hugs's generation. Where like with me growing up, right? Like I remember dial-up internet, VHS tapes, you know, cassettes, CDs, like the stuff that is so considered vintage now.
OG
Like
Game Boy.
yes, right. Having to have a blob light just so you could see it at night, like that's what. But like the gaming technology and everything, I feel like I've lived so many lifetimes in my 33 years of living because I have vivid memories of all this stuff.
This friend group would not have existed in 1924. 34, 44, 54, 64, 74,
even
84,
2004, probably.
94. 2004, I had friends from like World of Warcraft. Like we had
Hmm.
Ventrilo, we had
But
whatever. But
we
like,
met through TikTok. So, like, when
but that's
TikTok
what
get
I'm
invented,
saying. Like theoretically, well, and also you're younger, but I'm saying theoretically,
You
for
weren't finding
most of
people
this
on,
time until like
yeah,
the late 90s
yeah.
was the internet able to really bring people
Oh, dude, I
together
remember
like
when I
this.
first got access to AOL chat rooms, man. I had a lot of
What
online
keywords were you
friends.
using? What keywords were you using? That's what I want to know. Because that was a big
dude.
thing back in the day. You had to use AOL keywords.
Speaking of AOL, I went and watched a movie this weekend called Y2K, and good movie, guys. I can't wait till you go see it, Hugs. And like Y2K was a huge conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and like that movie
Wow,
was
that's
so
true.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was something we had talked about this a while ago, and I'm super excited to go see this movie because it really is up my alley. Because obviously, I'm an IT guy too. So, like, just the idea of it, like, it was a
You
legit
like it. There's a lot of like
concern.
little nods to people like you.
What crazy people like you, nerdy
Um,
IT guys.
but yeah, so I'm definitely excited to go see it. But the Y2K thing, like people were legit scared about that. I think a lot of businesses were also like very, very worried about it.
Yes,
But people thought airplanes were gonna fall out of the sky.
Yep.
People thought banks were gonna collapse. People thought it was gonna be the end of the world. Like that was like a legitimate thing.
I remember being a kid, like I was like 9 years old at the time or some shit, and I was like 8 years old, and I just remember like that fear from everybody, and I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like,
I
am I
wasn't
gonna
even a
like
year old yet. I don't remember it.
obviously?
How are you the youngest of us but look the oldest out of us?
I cannot speak on why that is, but if you know me, you know why. That stuff ages you so fast.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's
Oh, what did the five fingers say to the face? Um, but yeah, I definitely want to go see Y2K. But that was wild. That was like, because that's not even like necessarily a conspiracy theory. It was just something like people actually thought was going to happen. That was like a legitimate concern for IT professionals in general. But a lot of my friends that were like older than me that knew a lot of it were like, oh, this has already been, figured out for the most part. So
well, for the most part.
yeah.
And speaking of like technology and internet, have you ever heard of the dead internet theory?
This is one I've been the most excited to talk about since we've been talking about a few of these. And this is probably the one that we'll wrap it up on here, unless you guys have other ones.
No,
Because
it's my last one.
this is so okay. You got to think the internet. Let's say 80s. Okay, it was like DARPANET or whatever. I think was in the 80s. So you got to think of all the .com bubble, all the websites, all the geo sites, the geo cities, Angel Fire websites, like all these websites, all these little communities that have been created. Think of all the Discord servers. We're big on Discord. Think of all the Discord servers that have been created that just are out there that are like shells. The one we came from before the one we're in now. Like people don't really use as much. It's kind of a shell now.
Yeah.
Now imagine how many people die every year too. How many Discord servers are out there that are just populated with like 100 just deceased people? 200, 300 just deceased people. How many YouTube subscribers do I have? I have like almost 200,000 subscribers, right? How many of those are dead?
That it's just so insane. It almost gives me chills. Like this theory, it's bro.
Think about even like your
It's
TikTok followers, like so over time, because it's not even just everybody's dead, but you're performing to bots and to deceased people and just like
yeah.
not real entities. And it's just these inflated numbers of this like nothing, or these bots that just talk back and forth to each other in the comment sections. Like it's just all these things that don't exist or are deceased.
And I think part of the worst social media for bots is definitely Twitter. Like, it's one of the most insane theories. Like it's not even a theory; it's facts. You know, it's just bro, it's just.
I'm downloading Blue Sky tonight.
Give it a little while, bro, and that'll be the same thing as everywhere else. Think about how many MySpace pages are still out there.
I still have one somewhere.
You go on there, you kick on your profile, the music starts playing, and nobody's there to listen to it.
You just threw like so much nostalgia back, like picking your profile song and shit. Like,
who was your top 8, Crispy?
What was that?
Who was your top 8?
My top 8, man.
You guys would be in my top 8. Okay, Jared probably didn't experience this in life, but
I did not.
Do you ever have that thing? Somebody said something just pissed you off a little bit much. You're like, you know what? You just went from number 4 to like number 8, or you just dropped off.
I used to have like, that used to cause so much drama because like somebody pissed me off and they were my number 1. All of a sudden they dropped down to number 8, and then they're like, "Well, if you did that, I'm taking you off mine." I'm like, "All right, you're off too." And then they're like, "You should put me back." It's like.
And then all the drama happens, so then you change your profile song, so that way when they come to check,
or post the fucking bulletin or
the
the profile, the bulletins and shit. Like,
we're old, Jared. Sorry.
I had Facebook. You know, that's my first social media thing. It was Facebook.
I miss being able to customize your profiles.
I had Zanga. I was on Zanga, which was before MySpace.
MySpace was my first ever. I didn't even know what social media was.
I was on Zanga. I was on Dead Journal before
Bro,
that too.
I was 100% that person back in the MySpace days that could have gotten catfished and kidnapped and killed, because I will never forget.
I created that person.
Most likely. But like, I remember creating a MySpace. I added people in my area, and one of them was this really cute female, and she's like, "Hey, we should hang out." And we like literally just like met up at the movies and just walked and talked. I wonder what she's up to these days. But
bro, there's so many people I wish I could remember from when I used to be in the AOL chat rooms and stuff, because I made a lot of friends. And I'm like, who are they really? Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's dudes I talk to all the time, because they're Roz Jericho 2004, whoever you are, Kevin something, shout out. You'll never see this. You might be dead. I have no idea. But
Roz
you were
Jericho
dope, and we were friends when I was a kid.
That's crazy. You ever just like wondered, like we have been blessed to have met each other through Discord, because we have situations like this where we can be on like camera and we could see each other and we could talk to each other this way, hear each other's voices. But back then I was big into having a whole fucking list of AOL friends and shit, and you never video chatted with them, you never sent pictures, you just took them at face value, believed what they said, and you might have said a little too much, you know what I mean? But like, who knows who you were saying it to?
Crispy in them AOL chat room Diddy parties. Okay, but I feel like this is a good place to wrap it up. We had our XXL episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We just kind of, I want to just kind of vibe and hang out, just kind of chat and just talk about some things we're interested in, and just have some fun and make Jared feel like we're really old and he doesn't want to hang out with us anymore.
And birds ain't real.
How did we not get to that
And
one?
birds ain't real. Because there's so many. There's still like 100 we could talk about.
There are.
That's the
There
thing. We'll
are.
never get through them all. And as soon as we do get through them all, there'll be like 100 more. Because we didn't talk about do we live in a simulation? We didn't even talk about Starlink. We didn't talk about the face on the moon and on Mars. We didn't talk about water on the Mars rover. We didn't talk
Didn't
about.
talk about Mount
There's so many.
Rushmore. There's like a million.
There's so
Yeah.
many. We could do 7 more episodes like this. And hopefully, if you like this one, maybe we'll do another XXL episode down the line and we can just kind of chit chat about some other things. But tell us, what do you believe? What do you not believe? What was your MySpace profile song? And will we be in your top 8?
Back then
And
by Mike Jones. That was mine.
mine would have been probably something My Chemical Romance. Mine would have been very emo punk or like Anti-Flag, something like that. Anyway, let us know what you thought in the comments. Let us know what else you want to see, what topics you want to see us do for Scaranoia. I have been Hugz. That is Chris. That is Jared. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.